Welcome, viewers. This is Anis Faruqi on Metropolis Talk Show, our podcast, which is now gaining momentum. And you guys are getting back to us with your inquiries and questions. And we are always here to answer all your questions regarding these projects we've been talking about. We will be showcasing more projects as we progress, so that way we don't overwhelm our audience and they can make a very good informed decision. And we also want to address the questions, because we are going into Dubai market, and there are questions and very valid question in the mind of our investors. We ended our last episode on golden visa question, and I know you guys are waiting. So in order to progress, we again have Sabina Hassan, the Vice President of Pre-Construction at Remax Metropolis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anita.
And the question was that when you are investing into the real estate market in Dubai, with the residency and all these beautiful apartments, the marinas, the roofs, the ESME, is there any benefits tied to these investments? The project has any residency benefit, and as we did promise about the golden visa, do you think, how do you want to address that?
Yeah, so there's different, Dubai offers a variety of different options in terms of your visas. They obviously have student visas, they have residency visas, they have temporary visas, and they have what's grown into popularity right now.
Okay.
They have the golden visa. If you're looking at the residency visa, you have options for investments, which
Okay.
are typically between 2 to 4 years,
Okay.
depending on your level of investments.
Okay.
If you're looking at, and that would be renewable every 2 years, the cost of that is approximately 750,000 AED.
Okay.
That could be either through real estate, or you could use other vehicles if you wanted to, in
Okay.
order to obtain those visas.
So let me understand this. So you have to have a 750,000 AED invested in Dubai, and you have to provide that evidence.
Correct.
Okay, it could be real estate, it could be a deposit in the bank,
Correct.
it could be
could be
buying
earnings,
their
capital
stocks
gains.
or anything, right?
Correct.
So, and I think if that's the case, while we are investing in these properties, we are already getting that golden visa if we are investing up to 750,000.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So that's your first threshold, and then after that, then obviously the more you invest, the more that you are involved in Dubai commercial or Dubai property, or anything that's related to the infrastructure for Dubai. In order to enhance it, then Dubai offers you sponsorships in return of your investments.
Very nice. So what is golden visa like? I want to understand, when people come to migrate to Canada, they have a permanent resident and they become a citizen of the country. What entails into this visa for the investors?
I'm glad you asked that, because there are different levels. For a 5-year residency visa, for any investor who looks to purchase property, you can
Okay.
look to purchase property up to $1 million AED.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be 750,000. It can be up to $1 million for that 5-year visa.
Okay.
And it depends on whichever is suited for you.
Okay.
The visa is particularly suited for this particular one, for the million, is for 55-year-olds and retirees
Okay.
that are looking to kind of have a getaway home.
All right.
And they provide extended residencies along with the Emirates ID, which
Okay.
is the kind of your ID card.
So it's like your driver's license
Correct.
kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Do you have rights to do things
Yes, you do.
with that visa? Okay, beautiful.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. And then that also gives you the right or the opportunity to extend it to your family members.
Oh, nice.
So if you've obtained, or if you have that residency visa, you can then sponsor your family members in order to come over to Dubai as well.
So this is for one person who investing. What about the spousal or the sibling or the,
In the same way. So I would be, let's say for this particular example, I would be the person that would invest up to $1 million.
Okay.
I would have to meet the requirements. Ideally, like I said, it's suited for anyone that's aged over 55.
Right.
But they do not have to be at that age threshold. As long as you have made that investment, you can then request or fill out the applications for the 5-year residency visa.
Okay.
And then on your residency after your second year, you can then sponsor your family members.
That's very good to know. So, you are investing in Dubai. We are already almost there that to the threshold to get a visa.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So that's good to know. And if you have more questions, please let us know. Call us.
And obviously there's the golden visa, which we talked about briefly, which I think is garnered the most amount of attention in terms of what the visa options are. And the golden visa offers a 10-year residency for any investor who's looking to invest anything up to 2 million AED. It also comes with obviously your additional perks apart from your family sponsorship or children or key employees if you are looking to run a business, whether it's real estate related or not. You would be able to extend that visa to them in sponsorships. It also allows you to fully own mainland businesses, and that again goes on to your commercial real estate.
So yeah, that's another perk, and while you're there, you have lots of benefits in addition to the residency that you'll be enjoying through us in one of these projects. So that makes sense. Now the question comes, when we are investing, not everybody has all that cash on hand. They don't have all that money, but they have a lot of equity in their houses in Canada. They may have another investments, portfolios, So how do we get the financing secured for somebody who's willing to do investment in Dubai?
Yeah, it's a good question. So there's different options for you to obtain financing. The first option I would recommend and highly suggest, because I've worked with him before, is Anis by himself. He's a senior mortgage consultant, and he'll be able to assist you with financing or even advising you on your finances, whether or not it's viable for you to purchase in Dubai. Foreign investors typically can obtain mortgages within Dubai as well. There are options and products that are slightly more limited to somebody that was an Emirati, for example. Banks, the same as here in Toronto in Canada, they typically require proof of income, your credit history, and your residency status to be approved before they would go ahead and approve your financing.
Yeah, just to clarify, I can really help you but in this Dubai project, but I also help you in Canadian real estate purchases, refinancing, or if you need any help. I'm a licensed mortgage agent in Ontario under FISRA, and I've been helping a lot of clients, 22 years of experience in this industry. And now that we are dealing with these Dubai project, we have some lenders that I will work with them for you to get you your investment or equity out to invest in Dubai projects.
And that's really how it works.
Yeah. So don't worry, we'll take care of that. We have one-stop shop. We will do that. Sabina, I have a question regarding, and this is a very crucial question. It's a very important question, close to my heart, and I'm sure other people are asking this question, that what legal protection exists if a developer cancels or delays a project? This is why, because in pre-construction, and you are VP of pre-construction, you've been dealing with this issue also in Toronto. It happens sometimes. What are the legal protection in Dubai when we are speaking of these delays?
So I've worked in 3 different continents for real estate.
Nice.
And so when I bring that experience or knowledge into forums like this, I do often, without wanting to deliberately, but I do compare what the rules and restrictions are. And I can tell you guaranteed that Canadian, or at least the North American structure, the rules and regulations is extremely heavy. They are very driven, they're very compliant, and they have to make sure that they follow a very strict rule for the code of ethics, and making sure that you do your fiduciary duties, you ensure that you look after your clients from the point of A all the way down to the point of Z, and making sure that they're looked after even thereafter. So once the transaction has closed, and if a client or a customer comes back and says, I wasn't entirely happy or pleased with this outcome, and this agent dropped the ball on something, we have heavy regulations and rules in place to be able to protect that consumer. And that is done by RECO, by the for this province, it's the Real Estate Council of Ontario that's done here in Toronto or in the province of Ontario. As far as Dubai is concerned, Again, they have very strict rules and regulations to safeguard investors, and they have done that deliberately because I would say 75 to 80% of the investments that are in Dubai are by foreign investors.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have to make sure that they are looked after, and one bad experience can...
And I haven't heard any complaints yet.
No.
Right? So that's a good thing to know, because Dubai's government is very, very, protective when it comes to the foreign investment. It is their bread and butter too.
Yes.
And they would not want a bad name on it. A follow-up question is that the investors insuring their money, how is it protected during the development process? That is a very important question.
So here, and I like to do the analogy because people then can relate to it, at least the people that are watching us, the analogy between purchasing and protecting your deposits here in Toronto or in Ontario is through a trust account, and any monies that are held with lawyers in trust accounts. So God forbid if something happens, or if the project gets cancelled or delayed, it is the responsibility of the lawyer, of the builder or the developer to make sure that they are then you retrieve your deposits back with interest. In Dubai, for example, I was saying that protecting and ensuring the financial security is of their topmost priority, and there are recourse and there are actions against anything that does go wrong. In Dubai, they have a setup that's known as escrow accounts, which is I guess
I think most of our audience is familiar with that escrow accounts.
Right. So that's how they would deposit any of your initial deposits towards any unit or property, and they would be fully refundable if a project gets either delayed or if it gets cancelled. It has not happened to date.
And also one more thing, that why we are selling these projects, that we are as a Metropolis, Remax Metropolis, working with the most reputable builders. The one we have handpicked. They have a very good reputation in Emirates. They have very good reputation with the Dubai government, and there has not even one single incident that it has happened. But I just wanted to address this question, and
and that's part of the reason. I guess that was the initial thought where we decided to do a podcast for you, so that we can tell you the information, and we've handpicked these developers deliberately because we don't want to see any of that recourse, and we want to make sure that you invest safely and confidently, and you receive a good return on your investment.
And worst case scenario, if there are significant delays, you do have legal rights, right? So do you want to share some?
I mean, it starts with over here where, like I said, it's the Real Estate Council of Ontario, and you do have other bodies that regulate that process. In Dubai, it's the Real Estate Regulatory Agency. It's called the RERA. And if a developer was to cancel any of the projects in accordance with their guidelines, additional buyers can claim compensation on top of any delays. So there are avenues or areas that you can explore, making sure that you are connected with the correct broker, and making sure that you've invested with the correct project, and you foresee the actual benefits of that project. I would be confident in making sure that you are able to receive that claim or compensation should it get to that point.
So feel free to call us, call Sabina Hassan on her number, or call me if you have any finance related issues. I will address that, and we will continue answering your questions. In our next episode coming up is that we want to address how transparent is the registration process of the property for the international investors. It is very important because that signs, seals and delivers to your condo or to your apartment or your marina, ocean facing one. We will dive into the transparency of this registration process. Like in Toronto, we have a property registration, and how does it work in Dubai? That is coming up in our next podcast. Final comments.
Yes, you're right. We do have the Tarian warranty that helps to cover us, and we do have building codes and standards and ethics to make sure that whatever structure is built, it's measured 100 times before it actually goes out, and it's a lot of red tape, some heavy lifting on the side of government policies and city policies to make sure that that project is viable and it's built with integrity. Same with Dubai. They have very high standards, and they have some of the highest cranes and some of the highest buildings in terms of its landscape, particularly for the downtown core. So, yeah.
We will be diving into those question answer session in the next podcast of Metropolis Talk. For now, this is it. If you have any further question, please feel free to call us on the numbers on our screens or in the ticker. And we will be seeing you next time in our next episode. Signing off, Anis Faruqi from Metropolis Talks.